Damn thing working? There we go. Well, what's going on, guys? It's 2:23 in the afternoon on a Thursday, the 22nd of May, 2025. We were John C. Roseman, California. What's going on? So, trying to keep off the regular news, and I'm seeing plane crashes happening in San Diego earlier this morning. Wiped out part of a neighborhood. Learjet was trying to make a local airport, but stopped short. I didn't keep track of how many houses. Several of them got damaged. I'm hoping nobody got killed, except probably the people in the plane got killed. I don't think anybody survived that massive carnage. That wasn't bad enough. I'm keeping track of the news, and it's still freaking me out. Even last night, we had Israeli ambassadors, actually embassy staffers, got killed when a lunatic goes up to them, shoots them, I think. I hadn't kept track of the specific news on that one. I'm going in for it. I mean, getting so damn depressed with what's been happening these days. It's coming up nonstop that it's making me depressed and sad as hell. But they were shot and killed, but at least they got the gunman. They called it an act of, you know, assassination, terrorism. And he was trying to make a political statement. These kids are so young. Yeah, a 26-year-old woman and a 30-year-old man. 9 millimeters. They got turned into hamburger. They probably didn't have anything to deal with the Palestinian massacre, but they're Israeli, and that's the problem. And it was shot at the U.S. At the Israeli embassy. It sucked. 31-year-old native of Chicago went on a shooting spree. It just kills me. This guy was already acting weird enough anyway, but got onto campus and started shooting people. And the thing is, the kids were engaged. They were engaged. They were young. They were going to be starting a new life. And they were just going to be engaged. But the thing is, mostly political of the killing, being used as martyrs. Very young. It didn't matter. They were Israeli. And that's what made it hard as hell. And it looked like they were happy with each other. I mean, it looked like they were going to live a life. Maybe in another country. Start a life out here in the States. But that wasn't meant to be. And other things that's been happening here, how about the United States Treasury stopping all production of new pennies? So whatever old pennies we have are still going to be going through circulation at this point, but there's not going to be any more new pennies because it's too damn costly. They say it's about $56 million worth of material production just to make new pennies. They say it costs more than 1 cent to make a 1 cent. Zinc and copper. Zinc and copper. I'm looking under ABC News. Supreme Court also made a decision, I think yesterday or earlier today. Removal of heads of National Labor Relations Boards and merit systems, merit protection system. Basically, unions getting busted. Conservative majority on Thursday, according to the ABC News, bolstered Trump's bid to assume full control of an executive branch agencies, giving a green light for now to his removal of the heads of the National Labor Relations Board and Merit Systems Protection Board. It just dismissed them. You're fired. Get away. Get away. I'm not going to be saying anything concerning about the House big bill that got passed last night. I said something about it, so the Senate's going to chew on this one for a while. And there's probably going to be filibustering going on this one here. The other one should have been busting my butts on this one was Trump doesn't want any more foreign people coming over here except what he authorizes, which is white racist assholes coming from other countries. And he brought over the South American leader of their country to embarrass the crap out of them and do a mob rule on them. Do the mob land. Lie in front of the nation and discredit him. When you have an administration that racist, that screwed up, telling other students who want to come into the country to study, we're telling them no. Not just no. We're going to say it in the most racial hatred way possible. And if I happen to say those kind of words or attitude, I probably would get kicked off of YouTube and Google for it. Because that's exactly what we're telling the nations of the world is to blank off. Don't send your worthless students to our schools that we're already trying to recondition into our way of thinking at this point and indoctrinating our youth. And opening up that particular segue, try having a state superintendent of education who still claims that religion ought to be in the forefront of education by putting in Bibles in science classes all over his state. The case went all the way through the courts on this one. State Supreme Court said no. Court of Appeals in the Fed said no. Supreme Court said back down to the lower court's ruling. So in Oklahoma, the Trump Bible, or whatever kind of Bible they're going to be using as reality check to reality, to any science or anything else. It's not being used for philosophy. It's not used for literature study. No. We use the Bible for science. Because the Bible is supposed to be above science at this point. It says the earth was created in 6 days. And our scientists are saying, bite me, asshole, because it was in billions of years and we got scientific information. Science sucks. It needs to have the Bible. God is everything. Don't you understand that? God may be everything else in our damn studies left and right and also in our faith, but we don't put the faith into educational systems like the public education. But that's what the lunatic wants in Oklahoma. So good luck on that one, schmuck. But to bar international students from coming into our country to study when we actually send our students out to study abroad, and they come back with a different way of thinking. And unfortunately, it's not what the Trumplicans want. They want a systematic brainwashing. And to every blithering idiot saying, "We know we're America, we're great. Everything's going to be so great." It's the thing. Once you get educated into a higher form of knowledge base, when you're using your intelligence to do creative thinking, actually not just creative thinking, but critical analysis on everything and criticizing everything. Oh my God, there's that word again. Critic. No, you cannot be a critic. You cannot be that. That's against the Trumplican way of thinking. How dare you? Mark my words. You're going against our way of thinking. We of the Trumplicans must brainwash you into thinking our way because America will be great. We'll be dominating. We'll be paying the fucking asses to everybody, which we are. We already screwed up the damn world's economy with the trade war going on with the tariffs and everybody else realigning and getting new trade deals with everybody else except for us. Which means the stuff we depend upon. We're trading things and other things from out of us into other countries. And we need to get their stuff because we depend upon it. We can't do that. Because Trump already screwed that up. He kept telling us tariffs are going to make us rich. Who's making who rich, asshole? Because you're squeezing out the low income now. You're squeezing out everybody. And your big, beautiful bill is squeezing more people out of health, livelihood, survivability. But greed, avarice. Meanwhile, you've got chronic diseases being discussed by the current head of the Department of Health and Human Services, and that would have been Schmuckhead himself, RFK Jr. Make America Healthy Again Commission offered a range of critiques about chronic disease in America in a report released Thursday, the first major byproduct headed by RFK asshole himself. Chiefly, the report, I'm reading it off of ABC News. Report blames many chronic illnesses on ultra-processed foods, chemicals in the environment, sedentary behavior, and over-reliance on digital devices among children. It suggests children's vaccinations need to be studied further. He doesn't like America as it is right now. We're too damn fat. It's quite agreeable on that one. We won't stop until we defeat the chronic disease epidemic in America. We're going to get it done for the first time ever, said Donald Trump. Yeah, right, asshole. He's the one that keeps eating fast food all the damn time, purportedly even for the first term. His damn McDonald's, and he's in good health. His mentality is losing it, and the doctors are lying for him. But other doctors who have examined the information as well are basically calling the information quacks, hacks, and everything else. Trump's committed to pushing the historically progressive stances outlined in the report and fighting the, quote, corporate lobbyist or special interest, calling Kennedy's Maha movement hot. Yeah, right. Unlike other administrations, we will not be silenced or intimidated by the corporate lobbyists or special interests, and I want this group to do what they have to do, says Trump. Mentioning issues like toxic chemicals in the environment over prescriptions of children's and ultra-processed food. Well, we've had ultra-processed food for over a century or more. Yeah, more than that, didn't we? Since the Civil War. Canned foods? Cooked food, put it in a can, heat it up on a stove, or whatever you got, or just eat it out of the can cold. Did that for the wars. We had MREs, we still got MREs. They're all processed shit. But Trump's pledge and findings of the report, while notable for his departure from the president's priority in the first term, is still only an early predictor of what the Maha movement will attempt to enact, and how staunchly Trump will stand by the policy changes once they come under fire from industry groups that will certainly fight the administration over every significant regulation, and not to mention throwing this into the court systems for years on this one. So there's a 69-page document about this crap from the commission. I don't even see a damn link for this shit. I'd love to see this one. Why? Because I could use it against this asshole here. If anybody started arguing with it, I'd just say, well, this is what the assholes want. And I want to know about that damn report. I want a PDF. It's one thing I've already got a PDF over a 1,000-page big bill that's tearing our country and nation to pieces at this point. I might as well have something concerning about RFK Jr.'s brain farts. Didn't say concerning about the damn report's name, but I'm going to see something about that one here while I got the bed running. Okay, so New York's got it. New York Times has got it. Ohio County Journal. Okay, good. Maybe Ohio County Journal's got it. I can actually get a PDF file in the damn thing because I want to see it. Because I need to see the damn link and I need to see what the hell they're talking about, and they don't even have it, but they talk about the shit. Well, that doesn't help me very much. I want to see the damn report. And of course, the White House has got the damn thing out there. Why not? 73-page worth of garbage. They've talked about it for decades concerning about our obesity levels rising. They weren't kidding. They weren't also kidding, and I was talking about other administrations and health organizations and agencies and stuff. Doctors were trying to find correlations of sedentary life will lead to health conditions. They're right. But even so, when you're still even physically exercising, you can still run into health reasons, including death. 70s or 80s, there was this ultra guru physical exercise expert, jogging like crazy, doing all the exercises, trying to make his body ultra fit as possible. Then one day he keels over and dies. Which kind of made me surprising and worried about it. I mean, eating fast food on a moderate diet or on a constant diet, I can understand being turned into an overweight glob of grease. Worse than Jabba the Hutt. Or being called Jabba. But eat it once in a great while as a treat, and just trying to deal with cooked food at home that you can cook. That's also another thing right there. What you're going to be cooking, what you can cook, what you're going to be able to afford. People got put on SNAP and try to be turned to healthy foods because there's what they call food deserts. There are places around that don't offer healthy food, except maybe grocery stores, but if the healthier food is getting more and more expensive, what are they going to do? Go for the cheaper processed crap that'll keep you alive, theoretically, for a time. That means if you wanted to get some real protein in your diet, say for example, you're still a meat lover. You like chicken. Okay? There are different forms of chicken out there. I mean, you got rotisserie, even though it's cooked, processed, but it's still cooked and edible, and you're still able to eat it. And you got raw chicken out there if you can afford the damn shit. Boil it, fry it, whatever it is, but you still have raw. I mean, that's still protein right there. And then you've got the stuff already processed, cut up, and stuck up with so much chemicals to shove it into a can and make it cheaper in hell for you to eat the stuff out of it. And then there's the stuff coming out of fast food places, whether or not if it's actually processed enough to make it look like real or not real. I myself like chicken strips and french fries. I can't get a good coating on the chicken that I keep cooking up. I'll get the raw stuff. I just have a hard time trying to get the coating to stick after I take it out of the damn frying pan. After I had it bathed in oil, either vegetable or I have to start switching with other oils like olive or something else. It'll change the flavor and texture of the damn thing. I mean, yeah, they say that vegetable oil is not exactly good for you either. It's got high density, not low density. High density fat versus low density fat. I think I keep getting screwed around. Low or high, one of those two is more fluid than the other. Essential, but some of the oils that we actually do use in our cooking for fast food, they do have the more fats that are a little bit more solidified, adding more and more clog into our arteries and veins and stuff. No wonder we have problems with our health. We're starving ourselves to death on that one. And it makes it harder for us to walk around and do things. But that's what it is, isn't it? That's what it is. That's a pain in the ass for me to deal with, but I have to deal with it. How do you live on fast food on an entire basis? It's one thing you could try to survive on spam. Spam's processed. What was it? 20s, 30s, 40s, somewhere in that time zone. The 1920s to 30s or somewhere in there. They got processed spam. Portions of pork that people generally don't eat but gets reprocessed anyway. Add some preservatives, some flavorings in the thing, even salt. And then you got processed meat. You got bologna, salami, every other kind of processed meats out there. I don't know what time periods they were created. Maybe in the 1800s through now. But it doesn't matter. We got used to some of that processed meat. Even corned beef can be processed. Add some pickling spices to it. Boiling meat in water. Take it out. You got processed meat. Because you boiled it and you processed it. So there you go. It's got some fat to it. So whatever RFK is trying to tell us at this point over here, it's nothing new. Maybe there are chemicals out there, chemical dyes that are going to be cancerous. If they already had studies about that one, that's one thing to back it up. But if it's just that coming out of his mouth, does he know what the hell he's talking about without the data to back it up? And getting back to the educational system, Health Department of Education firings are getting torn apart by the Supreme Court. They're making decisions on that one. If I was reading it right, that of course we're trying to reverse the terminations of the Health Department of Education. I hope so. I really do, because we need the Department of Education to be reinstalled all over again. And I'm hoping we have it back, because Department of Education wasn't exactly overseeing our school systems. That was always part of the local area and the states to oversee the operation of the schools. You had school districts to do that, but then you had the state to oversee the school districts. And the thing of it is, the federal money was coming from the government to help support other programs that the state could not. It also helped support the college students who needed more assistance regarding their college funding. People had depended upon a large amount of the FAFSA funding, the loans, to get them through at least either 2-year or 4-year colleges out there. And you had stipulations. I know because I went through it. Not the 4-year, but I went through a couple of trade colleges. One in particular canceled out right after 94, 95. And I didn't graduate. I got left high and dry with the amount due hanging over my damn head. And I don't have any paperwork on it. That's been a long time ago. And the paperwork from them disappeared. Right after the 94 earthquake, things changed and everything else went hell in a handbasket. But out of my own pocket, I went over to another trade school. Bought books, got into the class, and got trade concerning about transcription and billing. My fingers ain't so hot these days on the billing or processing. But I depend upon the Department of Education regarding the FAFSA grants to help me get the materials necessary for my community college. And I want so much to graduate. I do. Because the thing is, I don't want to be taking up a lot of college time and then finally realize just when I'm about to graduate that the funding's already pulled apart and I can't get anything after that. State will try to get me through the classes itself to get registered for the classes. But not for the material I need. I don't know what I'll do. But for right now, it's bad enough I got the Supreme Court trying to help us and bury us at the same damn time. So if we've got independent labor agencies being targeted by Trump now, I don't know if that's going to be affecting my education or not, or anything else that we got going on. But I'm hoping that the Department of Education doesn't get dismantled if the courts are going to be allowed to stop that dismantling of raiding it, of personnel and of monies and of funds being transferred to different agencies that get siphoned out to other people who want it, particularly the old gas bag of SpaceX. He's so stoned out of his mind. I don't know if he's thinking about things logically or not, and I don't think so. Having a ship going to Mars, okay, worthwhile for a privateer at this point over here. But how about we do it in stages? How about we do this thing in stages if we can get there safely enough and demonstrate it can be done instead of these long shots that he keeps doing? I mean, it's one thing popping up a transportation system to get to the International Space Station, which he wants grounded and torn apart because now he wants NASA's funding to go out to Mars. But has he ever demonstrated not how to get there, how to survive there? And he's not even astronaut material. He's not going anywhere. He's made no effort to get himself trained as an astronaut. He didn't put himself through publicity. He's still taking drugs at this point over here. He's not astronaut suitable. He's not astronaut suitable for it. I know some astronauts out there, I've heard of astronauts struggling, and they weren't even allowed to be in the space program. Administration is fine. Paperwork, fine. Designing, fine, as long as they're on the ground and not flying. But if they're really dependent upon drugs for their own survival, not worth it. I'm surprised they would allow even diabetics would go up in space. They would need to have a constant supply of insulin to keep them alive. That's a major health issue right there. Even asthmatics would have a problem concerning about the breathing situation. There's no way in hell they'd be able to do it. Unless you're in tip-top health, there's no way in hell anybody's going to be going up in space, and not even Musk. Maybe a short excursions up just to see what weightlessness is all about, but that's about it. So I think he's out of his mind. And Trump, I don't know what the fuck's going on with that brain dead idiot. I really don't. And the Trumplicans will continue to follow whatever they're following because they're doing it in the name of Trump. Which I haven't seen the people rise up against the agencies yet to tell them, knock this shit off, you work for us. And the agencies are going to be fighting back saying, no, you work for us. Because we're telling you what to do. And here it is. Civil war. I'm expecting it. I'm anticipating it. I'm dreading it. I'm dreading for us to get into a war with our own government system. And yeah, I blame the voters for getting this shit in the first place. Putting Trump installed in the first time. And he's got the taste for power. And now since he's in, he's got what he's got right now. How to screw over everybody else. Welcome to Civil War, boys and girls. We voted this shit in. Now what the fuck do we do after this?